Welcome back to McPhee Ford. Today we've got a little bit of a special video planned today. We're going to go over the entire engine lineup for the 2023 Ford F-150. We're going to go over the power ratings, towing numbers, and even take a listen to what these engines sound like. So without further ado, we're going to pop the hoods and go through each individual engine. And starting off on the right side of our lineup is our very first engine, which is actually a 3.3 liter V6 engine. Now this is a naturally aspirated engine. There is no turbocharging, there's no supercharging, there is no forced induction at all. This is completely naturally aspirated power. And this engine puts out 290 horsepower and 265 foot-pounds of torque. Now this engine, a lot of people will consider actually the base model engine because it is the cheapest, and it's found mostly on base model F-150s like this XL model. So it's fitted to this XL, which is a regular cab, 8-foot box, rubber floors, again very, very base model. And a lot of work companies, contractors use these trucks here, and again because it is the cheapest way to buy them. Now what's nice about not just this engine, but all of these F-150s here is that they're all mated to the 10-speed automatic transmission, and Ford made that change just not too long ago, and that 10-speed offers great fuel economy. It's great for towing because there's so many gears to choose from. It is great for towing and also been very reliable as well. So again, this engine makes 290 horsepower and max towing is 8,200 pounds. Now I want to make one thing very clear, and that is the towing numbers that I'm going to give you. To actually achieve those max tow ratings, you have to spec your F-150 to a very specific way. There's a very specific way to spec an F-150 to actually achieve that max towing rating, because as soon as you start adding options and features, your towing numbers do go down, so just keep that in mind. But that is our 3.3 liter V6 engine. This was actually released for 2018. It replaced a very similar engine, but again, this is a pretty new engine. Again, 2018, so it's now about 5 years old, but it's proven to be very, very reliable. Again, if you want a very simple V6 engine, this is your good choice. But now let's take a listen to see how this engine sounds. And next up is the engine that a lot of people favor, and that is the 5-liter V8 engine. Now, this engine here makes 400 horsepower and 410 foot-pounds of torque. Now the 5-liter V8 has been around for a long time and is proven to be quite reliable. Again, not just like that 3.3 liter, naturally aspirated, no turbocharging, no supercharging. So again, it's proven to be a pretty reliable engine. And so this is again nice naturally aspirated V8. And for people who want a very simple engine and a very classic design, this is the choice for you. Again, V8 power, nothing wrong with that. And if you also want the best payload for your F-150, the 5 liter is also the best choice. It offers best in-class payload at 3,315 pounds. And maximum towing has also been bumped up quite a few times in the past generations of trucks, but right now it's rated at 13,000 pounds. And now we're moving into the EcoBoost family of engines, starting with the smallest EcoBoost engine, which is actually a 2.7 liter V6. So it's a quite small displacement for a V6 engine. 2.7 liters is a small engine, but again, there is one benefit to that, and that is fuel efficiency. The 2.7 liters is a very, very fuel efficient engine while still making 325 horsepower and 400 foot-pounds of torque. Now the 2.7 liter is actually a very, very strong engine. It's actually constructed from the same material as the Power Stroke diesels, which is a compacted graphite iron block. So again, it's very, very strong, and it holds the power really, really well. And again, makes 400 foot-pounds of torque out of just a 2.7 liter engine. Now this is a twin turbocharged engine. We do have one turbo on each side of the engine, and it helps with torque. So you have lots of low-end torque with this 2.7 liter. The 2.7 comes as a standard choice on Lariat models and above, which is actually what we have here. We have a Lariat model, so if you get a Lariat, it actually comes standard with the 2.7 liter, and you don't have to pay extra for it. So this is a great choice for people who just want very simple, fuel-efficient engines. This is great for people who do the occasional towing, but if you're not towing, upwards of 10,000 pounds, this is definitely a great choice. Let's take a listen to this one. And this is a fan favorite right here, the 3.5 liter V6. Now this is a similar engine to the 2.7 liter like we have over there, but it is a larger displacement. Again, 3.5 liters versus 2.7. Now, this engine makes 400 horsepower and a whopping 500 foot-pounds of torque. So you have an enormous amount of power coming out of this engine. And it would actually just receive a power increase for 2021. So it's a freshly updated engine. And again, it's offering loads and loads of torque, but still being an EcoBoost engine, you do get great fuel economy, which is a benefit of the EcoBoost versus something like maybe the 5 liter again. So you have lots and lots of power and lots of fuel efficiency as well. And just like the 2.7 liter, this is twin turbocharged, again, just one on each side of the engine. So again, you have that low end torque as well. Now this 3.5 liter EcoBoost is a tow monster. This thing is rated for up to 14,000 pounds, which is also class leading. So you have class leading power with this 3.5 liter EcoBoost. And it also has an extremely large payload rating as well. We're just about 70 pounds shy of the 5 liter. So we're about just over 3,200 pounds of max payload. So again, this is a great engine for people who do a lot of towing, maybe up steep grades. This engine will definitely serve you well. But without further ado, let's take a listen to the 3.5 liter. Now this is our very last engine here, and it's also one of the most special, and that is the new PowerBoost. Now you might be wondering what these orange cables are here. These are actually high voltage wires because this is a hybrid engine. Now it utilizes a 3.5 liter EcoBoost like that truck right over there we just talked about, but it also has a 35 kilowatt electric motor attached to it. Now this is a full hybrid engine, meaning it is actually capable of driving in full electric power alone. And again, it utilizes that 35 kilowatt electric motor. It has a little bit of a smaller battery. It's only 1 or 2 kilowatt hours, but that's because this engine does actually recharge it. So as you drive, it has regenerative braking, it has all kinds of different technologies to help replenish that power. But again, so you have that electrical capability. And the PowerBoost has the highest power ratings out of all of these engines, which is 430 horsepower and a whopping 570 foot-pounds of torque. So there's actually an additional 70 torque over the 3.5 liter non-hybrid system. So lots and lots of power. Now this engine doesn't have the highest towing number. That's because the PowerBoost isn't really made specifically for towing like that 3.5 liter is. This is rated at 12,700 pounds and about a 2,200 pound payload capacity. Now there are two main benefits to the hybrid engine. One being it's very fuel efficient. It's actually the most fuel efficient out of all the engines. Second is the new Pro Power on board system. Now we just came around to the bed of this F-150 PowerBoost. Now if you're not familiar with the Pro Power on board, this is basically an onboard generator system and it utilizes the hybrid system. Now this is the optional 7.2 kilowatt Pro Power on board, and well, basically we have a bunch of outlets here in the bed. Now this system has over 7,000 watts of usable power here in the bed and also in the cab, and this can be very useful. This has actually been proven very useful for power outages. You can actually power your entire house using this inverter system. You can also power tools or cooking appliances or whatever you want with this system, no problem at all. There's actually been a lot of stories where people who have encountered maybe floods or hurricanes, and they've actually used their PowerBoost F-150s to power their homes or power their neighbors' homes. So this really can come in handy. And all PowerBoost F-150s also have the addition of the little badge here on the side, so you get one on each side of the door for both driver and passenger. So the PowerBoost is a great choice for people who want maybe something a little bit more advanced. They want that inverter system, or if they want something maybe a little bit more fuel efficient, because of course F-150s are big vehicles. They do weigh a lot, so for people who want that extra fuel efficiency, this is the way to go. But now we'll take a listen to this PowerBoost engine. I do want to briefly talk about some specialty engines that are actually available, and they're used in the F-150 Raptor. There's a high output version of the 3.5 liter EcoBoost, which makes 450 horsepower and 510 foot-pounds of torque. There's also a supercharged V8, which is actually taken out of the GT500, the Shelby. So that is a 700 horsepower engine, but again, those are exclusively used in the F-150 Raptor. Now, if you want a diesel, unfortunately, that's no longer available. There was a 3-liter V6 diesel available for 2021, but Ford stopped it in 2022. So if you want a diesel, you're going to have to step up to a Super Duty. I'm going to do a quick summary of all of the engines real quick. So we'll start here on the right side with that 3.3-liter V6 engine. If you want very simple, cheap engine power plant, this is definitely the way to go. And again, it's mostly used for, you know, people who have work trucks or work companies and fleets. This is definitely a great choice for that. Next up, you have the 5-liter V8. Can't go wrong with a 5-liter V8 for sure. Naturally aspirated V8 power sounds fantastic. Then you have the EcoBoost engines. 2.7-liter, fantastic choice for fuel efficiency or people who just want simple transportation and simple power from a EcoBoost, more efficient engine. Then you have the 3.5-liter. This is great for people who use their F-150 for towing or for hauling heavy loads. This is definitely your best choice for towing. And then next up, you have the PowerBoost. Again, this is great for people who want something a little bit more advanced, like the Pro Power on board, and also the addition of the efficiency from the hybrid. But that'll pretty much do it for this video. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more F-150 content just like this, definitely subscribe and we'll make more of it for sure. But thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.